And now for the sports news, including stories about transfers, here is Baron Tony.
Thank you, Ladi, and welcome to Sports News. The Badminton Federation of Nigeria, the BFN, has confirmed that players from 11 countries will participate in the 2017 Lagos International Challenge. The competition, which is the third phase in the West African circuit, will hold at the Teslim Balogun Stadium from July the 26th to the 29th. According to the Federation, the countries are Sri Lanka, Portugal, Egypt, Israel, Republic of Benin, Italy, Ghana, Uganda, Cameroon, India, and Nigeria. The BFN also disclosed that the total prize money for the competition was $20,000 for the best 8 players. The Nigeria striker Emenike has joined Greek champions Olympiacos from Turkish outfit Fenerbahce for a 2-year contract for the transfer fee of €2.5 million. Emenike arrived in the European country's capital Athens and underwent a medical ahead of the signing. Last season, the 30-year-old forward managed just 4 goals in 15 appearances for Fenerbahce. The 2013 AFCON top scorer and winner will earn €2 million a year. And Arsenal have completed the signing of French international Alexandre Lacazette from Lyon. The club confirmed Lacazette signed a long-term contract for a club record fee of €53 million that could rise to €60 million. The deal beats the €50 million that Arsenal paid to bring Mesut Ozil to the Emirates from Real Madrid in 2013. The 26-year-old is expected to travel to Sydney with his new teammates this weekend as Arsenal begin their pre-season tour in Australia. And Bibiana Steiners will be the first woman ever to referee in the German top flight after the German Football Association, the DFB, announced her name on the list of referees for the 2017-18 Bundesliga season. Steiners will have been a German FA referee since 1999 and taken charge of 82nd Division matches since 2007. The 38-year-old police officer also officiated during the 2011 and 2015 Women's World Cups, the 2012 London Olympics, and the Women's Champions League final in Cardiff last month. Tennis now, and defending champion Andy Murray stormed into the Wimbledon third round with a ruthless 6-3, 6-2, 6-2 demolition of Dustin Brown. Murray needed only 96 minutes to see off the dreadlocked German as he sets up a clash with colorful Italian Fabio Fognini. Japan's Kei Nishikori also had a close encounter with the Bugs on court 1 during his 6-4, 6-7, 6-1, 7-6 win over Ukrainian qualifier Sergei Stakovsky. And finally, 5-time Wimbledon champion Venus Williams lost the first set before beating Wang Qiang 4-6, 6-4, 6-1 to move to the third round. Venus will play unseeded Japanese Naomi Osaka. The former world number 1, Victoria Azarenka, playing her first Grand Slam tournament since giving birth to the first child, Leo, in December, knocked out Russian Elena Vasina 6-3, 6-3. The Belarusian next faces British wildcard Heather Watson. And that's it on Sports News for tonight. I'm Barang Tony Ranta, and Ladi will be back with the wrap.
Security forces in Kenya say they have battled suspected Al-Shabaab militants for more than 10 hours after they staged a dawn attack on a police post near the coastal town of Lamu. The latest fighting is reported to be in Boni Forest, which straddles the border with Somalia. The authorities have not released details, but local media are reporting that 2 police officers have been killed and another 7 are missing. Local media say some 200 attackers were involved in the fighting. A local communications mast has been destroyed, making it hard to get accurate information from the area. U.S. President Donald Trump has called China out on its continued trade relations with North Korea, despite its testing of missiles and nuclear development. Trump tweeted this morning, trade between China and North Korea grew almost 40% in the first quarter. So much for China working with us, but we had to give it a try. China, which is Pyongyang's main economic ally, and Russia have both called on North Korea to suspend its ballistic missile program in exchange for a halt on the large-scale military exercises by the U.S. and South Korea. Both leaders met in Moscow on Tuesday, following which the Chinese president advised the opposing sides should start negotiations. And leaders in the Gulf region have agreed to maintain restrictions on Qatar, following its rejection of an ultimatum made by its neighbors. Leaders from Bahrain, Egypt, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates today met in Cairo to discuss the Qatar crisis, 1 month after they cut ties with the country for supporting extremism and terrorism, which it denies.
The meeting of foreign ministers in Cairo comes on a day a deadline expires for Qatar to accept a list of demands by Saudi Arabia or face sanctions. The demands, which includes shutting down the Al Jazeera television network, closing airspace to Qatar Airways and scaling ties with Iran, is what they are seeking response to. Qatar is accused of destabilizing the region by supporting extremism, which it denies, calling the demands unrealistic and not actionable.
We hope that through our measures and with the help of partners including Germany, the leadership of Qatar can increase their sense and wisdom, stop supporting terrorists and stop supporting those spreading hate speeches.
The tiny Gulf Emirate has been under unprecedented diplomatic and economic sanctions from Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the UAE and Bahrain. The restrictions have caused inconsistencies in the oil and gas-rich nation, which is dependent on imports to meet basic needs of its population. On Monday, Saudi Arabia and its Arab allies gave Qatar an extra 48 hours to accept their demand and restore relations after an earlier 10-day deadline expired. But Qatar has remained adamant, vowing that it will not surrender the independence of its foreign policy amid U.S. calls for Gulf unity.
And the main news again. The Federal High Court in Lagos today ordered the federal government to publish the names of all Treasury looters. The federal government, in response, as espoused by the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, said the government will abide by the ruling. Also today, the House of Representatives gave an indication that it may summon the former President Goodluck Jonathan to appear before its committee probing the Malabo oil deal. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks for being with us. Good night.